We woke up yesterday morning to a very rolly boat at about 4:30 a.m.
Another rolly anchorage and another night of disturbed sleep, and I use the word sleep very loosely. So where are we?
We're not in Eos anymore, we're in Polyaigus. We weren't going to come as far south and west. We did want to go to Sifnos, but when we woke up yesterday morning, the wind had changed direction and the waves were short and sharp, and actually when we came out of the bay, hoping to turn north towards Sifnos, the wind and large swell, it was nearly 2 meters, were just impossible to fight against. It was obvious that if we were going to make a 6-hour passage, that it was going to be an extremely uncomfortable ride. So we made a quick decision and turned south and ended up at the anchorage on the southern side of Eos, which actually turned out to be very nice. That's called Manganari, which is where we stayed overnight. The wind was in the high 20s and it gusted to the 30s. It did calm down towards early morning. Last night we reviewed our sailing plans, and instead of going north to Sifnos, we decided to go slightly south and west past Sikinos, and we've arrived here at Polyaigos. It's a nice wide bay actually, and there are lots of areas where you could anchor off here. We're sort of in the middle of the bay in 9 meters, and the anchor went straight in. It's a sandy bottom and she's held really well. There is still the occasional gust of wind here, but it's nothing like it was yesterday. While I think about it, if you're interested in our actual passage that we make on every journey, we do actually upload our ship's logs to the Patreon Facebook page. So if you're really interested in how all of our journeys go, then head on over to Patreon and sign yourself up, and you'll get access to that and so much more.
Another rolly anchorage and another night of disturbed sleep, and I use the word sleep very loosely. So where are we? We are in the only anchorage on the west coast of the Greek island of Polyaigos. Now, if the wind is coming from the north or the south, then of course what happens is your boat lays side on to the big open bay here, and the swell comes in and you get a rock and rolly night. Now I've come out on deck. The wind is coming out of the east, which has pointed us in the right direction. I don't know if this camera's actually going to try and pick this up, but there's hardly any swell. But that little bit, that little movement will make the boat rock and roll all night, and it's no fun. There are plenty of options in this bay if you want to take a line ashore. Those guys over there have done it, but of course that does put them in a north-south configuration, leaving them exposed to any swell coming in. These guys on this wall here, and unfortunately the sun is blocking most of the view, they are in a perfect position for the swell. However, with the Greek islands being subject to earthquakes, small earthquakes, but enough to shift the big rocks, and that hill behind him has some really massive rocks just waiting for a little shake to come tumbling down. So if you're planning on anchoring with a line ashore, just have a look at the rocks behind you before you choose your spot. The holding here is fantastic. The sand is very fine. We're in 9 meters of water and we've got 45 meters of chain out, which is 5-to-1. It's mostly sand. There are some weed patches around, so you can pick and choose, but it's a big bay and plenty of room for everybody. A very small town here at the head of the bay where you can probably get supplies. We haven't been ashore, so we don't know for sure. But today we will be moving on from here. We're going north-northwest to a small anchorage just off the eastern side of the island of Milos. Should be fun. It's about 17 miles, so not too long at all.
On our way, we were lucky enough to see some dolphins. Dolphins! And one even came up to the bow of the boat and swam along with us for a while. Hiya, fella. We arrived at Polyaigus after motoring for 3 hours as the wind was only blowing 3.5 knots. We dropped anchor in Livadki Bay in 8 meters of crystal clear water and let out 32 meters of chain. The bottom was good holding with sand and some weed. After putting ABC to bed, we went snorkeling and checked the anchor and also the bow thruster, which had been making a slightly different noise than usual. As you can see, it had quite a bit of growth on it, which Baz scraped off a bit later.
It's Sunday morning and we are having to leave this beautiful anchorage. We'd like to have stayed here a few days longer because it's great for snorkeling. The water here is beautiful. When we came in yesterday it was dead calm and flat and there was everyone and his dog here. But today there's only us and one very plucky motor catamaran parked up. Everyone else has buggered off, and the reason why is because there's a bit of a blow coming in today and it's coming in from over there. So it's got all that distance to create a lot of fetch and a lot of waves, and that will put us on a lee shore with rocks, and we don't like the sound of that. So we're going to travel about 2 to 3 hours around into the bay of the Greek island of Milos, and we're going to set up camp there and wait out the blow, and we might even stay in Milos for a few days, maybe a week, and get some work done. So let's bring that anchor up and bugger off.
Our Australian courtesy flag really hasn't held up very well at all. We got this one in Turkey because we forgot to order it when we ordered all of our other courtesy flags from the UK. It hadn't been up long when the ends of the flag started to fray. I've already fixed it a couple of times. Today I decided that I would give it another sew. But a few days on, after a couple of big winds, and as you can see, the flag hasn't held up at all. So we're hoping that when Luke comes out to see us from Australia soon, he can bring another courtesy flag with him when he visits.
Had a bit of a moment there, thought the GPS had buggered off on us, but it's come back online. We're going to have to seriously look at this system when we get to somewhere where we can get the work done. Not good.
We're now in Milos Bay on Milos Island. There's supposed to be a bit of a blow coming in, and we're just checking out the best anchorage for us. We do need provisions, so at the moment we're heading to the main port and we're going to check that out.
It's 11:20.
So we left at 8:10.
Yep.
So we're in 6.5 feet, we've got 40 metres of chain out.
Yep.
Metres. 10 hours just there.
Next week on Sailing ABC, we replace the furling line to the head sail, and we find once again that one boat job leads to another boat job. If you're new to Sailing ABC, don't forget to click the subscribe button and leave us a thumbs up and a comment. We really appreciate reading everything you've got to say. Thanks for watching.